Hey y'all, it's Betsy, and today we have a fun video I just received in my Melt Cosmetics order, and this is the Melt Times Beetlejuice Holiday Collection. Super excited to order this. I paid for this myself. I ordered the whole PR bundle. This retails for $350. Now, it is quite expensive, but I am obsessed with Beetlejuice and I had planned on ordering the whole collection anyway. And this way it does save a little bit of money. But look at the inside of this. Isn't that just adorable? It's like 3D paper cutouts. And then you have where all the products go. I've already taken them out to save some time because I have tried to film this several times, but I keep getting interrupted. Because it is what it is. And then there is another drawer down here at the bottom that held the brush, the mirror, the makeup bag. You do get a melt sticker and you get a postcard that says it's showtime. And then you have the art picture with Lorana, I don't remember how to say her name. One of the owners of Melt. Well, they're both of the owners of Melt, but I can't remember how to say their name. But again, the whole PR collection is $350. I think you can buy the whole collection still for that same amount, but I was able to purchase, again, everything early because I have bought so much from Melt. I love Melt. So the first thing is the Lydia brush set, which is 5 brushes, which I have, as I said, I've already tried to film this video a few times, so even though it's gonna be first impressions, it's kind of not. So there are 5 brushes in the set with Lydia dancing. I love the artwork on these. And then this vegan leather makeup bag. So you have the sandworm imprint with iconic black and white stripe, same thing as Michael Keaton's suit whenever he's dressed as Beetlejuice. Then next up you have the recently deceased palette. This is the purple and green palette, and I plan on filming videos for both of the palettes on their own. This retails for $48. Isn't that packaging stunning? And then you get, like, these looks kind of like the old movie reels, and that's them whenever they're at Beetlejuice's grave in the miniature. And then you have 8 shades in this one, that's why it's a little bit less. And all of the mattes have the imprint of Michael Keaton as Beetlejuice. I don't think I'm going to use this palette today. I want to use the red and gray one, and then we'll kind of go from there. So that is the recently deceased palette. Then we have the waiting room palette. Isn't that packaging gorgeous? I love the red and black, and this speaks to my goth girl heart. So that's what the outside of the packaging looks like. Again, now this one I have kind of dipped my brushes into, but if it hasn't been one thing, it's been another trying to film this. And then you have the picture from the waiting room. And then here is the inside of the palette. There are 10 shades. There are 6 mattes and 4 shimmers. So I can't wait to play with that. Next up is the Supernatural Lash Mascara, which by itself, this mascara retails for $24. Again, it's got the sandworm on the outside of the packaging. That's a kind of cool brush. We'll see how that goes. And then it says Beetlejuice on the outside. And then you can also purchase the set that includes the eyelash curler, which is, well, it came with it. And I've been needing a new eyelash curler anyway. The one that I've had is literally 20 years old. So that's what it looks like. Isn't that, I love that red. Love the red. Next up we're gonna start off with our gel liners. So the first one is Afterlife, which is this beautiful neon green. Isn't that pretty? So, so pretty. Grab a makeup wipe. So I can wipe, and this retails for $19. Then we have the 125 Years, which is the gray, which I'm gonna try to use these in my waterline because y'all know I don't do a liquid eyeliner, but look how cute that is. But Nadia is gonna have a blast, a field day playing with these. And again, that retails for $19, and they are glass jars, just in case you're wondering. So they do have like some weight to them. And then last but not least is the Utterly Alone, which is a metallic pigment paint. So I think this is under the reason why they have to list it as a pigment paint is because it stains. That's typically what it is. So they cannot be considered eye safe. So that's the 3 eyeliner colors. So pretty. Let's go ahead and wipe that swatch away. Okay, so next up we have the Electric paints, which they're all 3 metallic colors. So the first one is the Strange and Unusual lip paint. Make sure I'm grabbing the right one, which is the hot pink. So we're gonna go ahead and swatch it out. Isn't that pretty? Such a beautiful color. Then we have the It's Showtime. I can't talk like Michael Keaton. Which is a beautiful magenta. It is a purple, but it is a pinker leaning purple. Because I would definitely say that the pink is definitely a true kind of fuchsia. And then last but not least is the Weirder and Weirder Electric paint. So, which when you put it on, you see what that looks like. It's like a, ooh, that's a nice, they smell like the normal matte lipsticks, liquid lipsticks. And if you have any of these, you'll know what I mean. They have the best cake battery kind of smell to them. So I like that. And that is like a beautiful blackened purple. So that's what they look like. And they're all 3 metallic. And I think these are supposed to, yeah, okay. You can definitely tell on the ones that I left longer. These swatches stain. So they're supposed to be like, that's why they're called a lip paint. They're supposed to be, after they kind of wear off the main color, they're like a lip stain to stay behind and, you know, still give your lips some color. And those retail for $19. So next up is the Lydia mirror, which again, that has Lydia dancing on the back. And then down at the bottom, it has the Melt Beetlejuice logo. I love my little one from the Royal Blush collection. This is the bee one because I adore bees. I ordered the PR kit on that one as well because it didn't cost anything more to do that. And if you're planning on purchasing everything, sometimes it's easier to grab a hold of some. Okay, so next up is the Miss Argentina lipstick, which as you can see, the imprint on the tube, or not on the tube, on the lipstick itself is the sandworm. And this is their Ultra Matte Bullet Lipstick formula. So it is kind of draggy on the skin, but that is like a true orange based red. Then next up we have the Ghost with the Most, which was, this is probably the lipstick I was most excited about, which is the Matte Army Green. Even though I've never worn a color like this, I've just seen it in several of Melt's PR pictures and I was like, that is gorgeous. And then last but not least is the Calypso, which is an iridescent purple. That's what that looks like. So this one, since it is more of an iridescent metallic, it does not have that draggy feel at all to it. So, and we'll save the swatches of the what is it? Not the Waiting Room palette. What is this one? Recently Deceased. The handbook for the Recently Deceased. We're gonna save that for when we do that video tomorrow. Okie dokie. So I have already primed my eyes with the Gerard Cosmetics Clean Canvas Eye Base, which if you watch me, you know that is what I use all the time. I'm not gonna do a super intense eye look because I wanna save some time, and this is gonna be a longer video because I had to talk about all the products that are in this collection. So this is what the outside of the palette looks like. We're gonna start off by swatching. Okay. So we have Obituary, No Exit, Sod Girl, Dante's Inferno. Okay. Lydia, which I love the shade for Lydia. Charman, Tombstone, Shrunken Head. So here's Lydia, Charman, Tombstone, Shrunken Head. Okay. Then the last two, Juno and Sandworm. Juno, Sandworm. Okay, so a couple of things I will go ahead and tell you about this palette. So Obituary and No Exit are too close for my liking. Same thing with Tombstone and Shrunken Head. I wish they would have done something a little bit different with those 4 colors. You know, kept one or the other and then made the color something different is what I mean. So we're gonna do this look, and I wanna do like just a quick and easy kind of more maroon smoky eye. So I'm grabbing, make sure it's a clean brush, because I tried to use this brush earlier. This is the brush, the 820 brush by Melt, and it's not a bad brush, it's just it's a little rough for my liking. So we're gonna start off with the shade Obituary, just on a clean brush. And we're just going to lightly go over my transition, because as I said, I want something deep and vampy and goth for my inner emo child heart, even though I was an adult during the emo phase, but that's okay. I was emo before emo was cool. That's just me joking. Okay, so as you can see, that has, when you look at it on the eye, it definitely does not look like what it is in the pan. And I'll show you what I mean. So like, we're gonna kind of blend this out. See how it isn't really maroon or red? It definitely pulls more gray. It has a lot of gray undertones to it. Now, I do think that this palette would pair very nicely with the Muerte palette. I have both of them. And it probably would also pair pretty nicely with the She's and Parties, because I have that. Well, I own all the Melt palettes. I don't own any of their stacks. That was before I was into Melt, and then when I did start getting into Melt, when they had stacks, I was like, that was before I was willing, like I was not going to spend $58 on like a stack of 4 eyeshadows. Singles are still, even though I'm so into makeup now at this point, singles are still not my favorite thing in the world. There's stuff that kind of acts like singles, and it's not because I don't like single eyeshadows, I just never remember to use them. I much prefer made palettes. Just my personal preference. And this is the more expensive out of the two. I do adore the packaging, but it is completely different than anything Melt has done before, because that is my Melt collection right there. And yeah, Impulsive was a little different, but everything else has pretty much been rectangular cardboard packaging. And these are plastic, which is fine. Not as good for the environment, but they're beautiful. I love the translucency to them. So next we're gonna go into No Exit, which is the deeper color, and just kind of keep that on the outer portion. Very, very pretty. And I want to do the first looks with my regular brushes. Because after messing with that one brush, I really just wasn't, like, I'll kind of show you. It's not a bad brush. I don't want it to seem like I'm saying that, but I definitely don't think the brush set for 5 brushes in a makeup bag, which, you know, if you're collecting makeup bags, that's fine. I just am not sure if that is the most worth it. If that makes sense. But you see how gray that kind of pulls? And it's the same way, like if I take and grab, this is the no exit. You can see that as I build it up, it definitely pulls more gray toned. So, trying to see how it looks. But I do like the color story. It just doesn't read true. Like when you look at the palette, what you're getting on your eyes is definitely not what you're getting in the pan. Okay, so I'm gonna grab, this is my ColourPop because there really isn't a brush other than this teeny tiny little one to do a shimmer across the lid the way that I like to do. So this is the Too Faced Glitter Glue. If you know, you know. That needs a little bit more. I use this every single time I do an eye look. And I think I'm gonna do more of the gray tones underneath. I think that that would be fun. And keep the maroon tones up on top. Okay, so I'm going to go into Sod Girl and place that on the outer portion of my lid because I like the shade Dante's Inferno, but it is definitely more bronze leaning, which is not the color scheme I am going for this eye look. But it's performing nicely with the brush on the eye. You know, for me, that's always important because I don't have a lot of control with my hands because I do suffer from fibromyalgia and I have very shaky hands. So it is important that I can kind of control things more with the brush. Now we're going to go into the shape Lydia for the front half. Lydia is such a beautiful color. And Lydia is definitely more of that true red. But I do like how that blends into Sod Girl. I would love to be in the mind of Tim Burton for like his creative process. Because he has created some of the most iconic images whenever it comes to movies. Okay, go back into Sod Girl. There we go. Okay, gonna take, this is the Beetlejuice 820 brush and just kind of go over the edge. Okay. Okay, so now I'm gonna go off camera, do the rest of my face, and we'll come back, do the lower lash line and the lips, and I will talk about my thoughts on the waiting room palette. So I'm back and I have the rest of my face on. I used the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in Deep Bronze. I also used my Melt Raw Honey Blush. Love that shade. And then I also used the Melt Morning Star Highlight. So pretty. Okay, so we're gonna try to use one of the, I haven't done lashes yet. It's so weird because I'm playing with new mascara, so I wanted to do that on camera. So I have the BK Beauty 208. It's just a tiny little eyeliner brush. And I'm using that to tightline my waterline with this. Well, so far it's working. I do not recommend stabbing yourself in the eye though with them. Okay, we've got some color down. So I do like that. So we're gonna take, this is the Melt brush in 28. I like these stubbier brushes better by Melt. I think that they're softer, the ones with the shorter bristles. And we're gonna go into Charman, which is the black. And I want to kind of just tap that in under my eye. That is intense. Okay. That is so intense. I'm not finished though. Next, I'm gonna grab, this is the smaller blending brush by Melt. This is the 830. And gonna go into Sandworm with it. There we go. And use that to blend it out. That looks good. Okie dokie. Do the same thing on the other side. Y'all know I love a good or bad smoky under eye look. Okay, so now we're gonna try out the curler and the mascara. So, curl my lashes. Did I curl my lashes? Oh, that did a good job, actually. Can you tell? Hold on. Yeah. I can tell. It's hard probably for y'all to tell because you can't see my lashes. Okay, now we're gonna try out the mascara. Now you can start to see my lashes. I like that mascara. And I like the size of the brush because it's small enough to get into the lower lashes. Okay. See, that's really kind of thickening them up. Okie dokie. But yeah, no. I really like this mascara. Try to get into the front lashes. Do y'all have an easier time? I always tend to have an easier time doing mascara on my right eye. But that is because I'm like partially blind in my right eye. So stuff coming at my eye doesn't bother me like it does on my left. Okay, looks pretty good. I did get a little bit, more than a little bit on my eyelid. Okay, I'm gonna fix that. That's better. Okay, let's use something for the inner corner. So I think I'm gonna go into the shade Juno, and then I'm gonna use the little brush. This is the 516. Okay. Yeah, no, I don't like that brush for that. Oh yeah. This is the BK Beauty 204. Let's spray this, because this is a chunky shade. Chunky shade. Okay. Grab my big rougher brush, dust away. Okay, let's do lips. So I think I want to use the, now I will definitely say this about the mascara. The mascara did a good job, but I don't think it's anything to write home about. Like, my lashes don't look super dramatic. I think I want to use the Miss Argentina red shade. I think that that would look, best, no. Pretty color, definitely not with this look. Okay. Sorry about the jump cut. My printer went off, and while it was going, I did go ahead and put on my false lashes because I think that that helped with the look. So let's go ahead and talk about my thoughts on the products that I have used from the collection, because this is an expensive collection. If you bought the whole thing, I mean, it's $350, and I think if you bought it all separately, it's like 400 and something. So, you know, you want to kind of have an idea. So for the brushes, I really like the pouch, and I really like these three brushes. These two brushes are okay. So do I think that they're worth $80? Probably not. Just in my personal opinion, I think $80 is quite a bit for 5 brushes and a makeup bag, but I am happy to have it in my collection. The Lydia mirror, I love. I think that this is definitely easily worth $21. I think it's super cute. So I do like that. The eyelash curler is an eyelash curler. Did just what it's supposed to. It curled my lashes. The mascara, the formula is great for a lower lash line mascara, but $24 is quite pricey for it. So I would recommend, you know, that is definitely not my favorite formula for mascara. Then the 125 Years Gray eyeliner. As you can see, it is still in my waterline, and I have been recording for a long time today. People are doing construction, so I've had to start over and just had all kinds of mishaps. So this looks super good. I haven't really had a chance to try the matte lips yet, but we will play more with those. And then the Electrip paints, the purple one looks super pretty. I'm not sure if I like it with this eye look that much, but I don't know if there's a lip that I really love with it. Let's try something. I have an idea. Let's take and see if, oh yeah. Yes. Okay. That gothed it out. That's better. So I just took the Miss Argentina red lipstick and put it over the top, and see how that made it much more of like that gothy kind of color. Let's talk about the waiting room palette. Love, love, love the packaging. The color story is gorgeous, but let's be honest, and I'm gonna be as real with you as possible, because this palette is $58. If you own the Melts Millennial Pink, you don't need this bottom row. If you own the She's and Parties, these first 3 colors are pretty much spoken for in the She's and Parties. So if you own those, unless you're a collector like I am, I'm not sure if you need it. The formula is great. It went on great on my eyes. I like how it performed. But again, the colors in this one are not super unique. Now I'm excited to play with the Recently Deceased one, because I think that I'm going to like that a little bit more. But as I said, as a collector, I am super happy that I have this in my collection. But yeah, so those are my thoughts on everything. Let me know your thoughts down below. But I guess that's it. So we'll see y'all later. Bye.